Before we get started on today's video, I just want to read out some of my favourite comments from the last video. So here we go. We're going to race through some of these. Expecting from a German version of Brighton a gegenpress style is complete suicide. Doesn't improve squad from last season. I think we're going to do better. LOL. Kev out. Boo. I enjoy watching your non-league to legend series, but I have to admit I'm finding it harder to maintain interest when you keep buying players that are absolute bleep. Non-league to legend is painful to watch this year. Just so that everyone who left those comments, and the loads more that were similar to it, just so you're all prepared for what's about to happen, you're about to get a big fat I told you so. Hello and welcome to Club 5 Part 12 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games in the Bundesliga, away against Stuttgart and at home against Leipzig. But as you can see, 6 games into the season, we're unbeaten. We're up in 4th place. We've had a lovely time. We had those 2 draws on the last episode, but September was a real delightful month of 4 straight wins over Hanover, Hoffenheim, Schalke and Nuremberg. I fully acknowledge most of them aren't teams that are any good. It's not quite the I told you so I was hoping, because we haven't played against any of the really big teams yet. But the important thing is we are beating teams. Liam Thorne is scoring lots of goals. He got 4 goals against Schalke, which is ridiculous. And the league table looks like this. We're 4th after 6 games, 1 point off the top of the league. Liam Thorne is the top scorer in the Bundesliga. And it's got to be said, I'm having the time of my life. This is absolutely marvellous. And even though, because of this intro, we're almost certainly going to lose both the games on today's episode, hopefully that puts some of your minds at rest that as much as I sometimes look like a clown who doesn't have a clue what's going on, I do have a plan. If you're not sure why I do transfers the way I do them, I urge you to go back and watch the video I shared on the community page yesterday, the intro to Non-League to Legend, that explains the self-imposed restrictions I have on transfers, which is why I do transfers the way I do them. I feel like it adds to the realism of the game. If you don't like it, it ain't gonna change. But yeah, it seems like it's turning out okay in the end. Remember, our goal for this season is mid-table. I think we should be on course for mid-table. I'm not an idiot. I know we're not going to qualify for the Champions League this season unless something ridiculous happens. But the fact that we've had such a solid start, really importantly, beating those teams that we're supposed to be better than, suggests we should be on course for a season of mid-table, maybe even creeping into the top half, which should be enough to either give us a platform to build on for next year or alert the attention of a bigger club that, look, Kev's done it again. He's overperformed at a club again. And then we start to move on towards the next club on our little journey. So, yeah, let's play some games. I hope that didn't come across as super negative. It wasn't meant to be. But because I was away at VidCon this weekend, I kind of read all of the comments in one go rather than reading them as they come in. I got home and on Monday morning just read through like 3 days worth of comments. And when it comes at you machine gun style, it breaks my mind a little bit, the negativity that we sometimes get down in the comments. And hopefully we're all going to be a little bit more positive and friendly and understand that there is a plan. And at the moment, although it might be about to go wrong, but at the moment, the plan is working. So we're going in to the Stuttgart game with this team. We're still using the same gegenpress system. We've got Mayer in goal, a back four of Friedel, Gomez, Emmanuel and Buckerite, with Rodriguez and Janicic in midfield, Thorne up front, supported by Okafor, Vital and Chaton. And yeah, we've not only have we been winning games, we've looked tight at the back and we've played some lovely football going forward. And I hope we carry that good form on into today's episode. The problem is, we all know the curse of closing the game. I played those matches last Friday morning. So I'm recording this Tuesday morning. So there's every chance that Football Manager is now going to punish me, not only for closing the game in a winning run, which we all know you never do, but also for then having 3 days off. So we're probably going to lose both of these games. But fingers crossed we carry on the good form. I want you to ignore the I don't want you to ignore the praise. I don't expect nothing short of a win, though, either. Let's passionately say, yeah, you've been getting a lot of credit lately. go show everybody that it was deserved. I think that's probably what I'd say in real life, because we have been playing very well. I don't know how good Stuttgart are. It looks like they're just below us in the league. Presumably, they were one of the sort of breakaway top 6 or 7 last season who got into the Europa League, maybe. I don't know how good Stuttgart traditionally are, but they're a team that I've heard of, unlike a lot of the teams that are in the lower half of the league. I mean, I've heard of them, but not necessarily in a footballing context, if you know what I mean. Oh, that's a disappointing start to the game. I thought it had been disallowed, but no, it's gone down as an own goal. Let's have a... He says, we've been defensively tight. Let's have a look at it from the other angle and try and work out just where this went wrong. So the cross comes in and... Oh dear, that's a calamity of errors. I mean, it's serious bad luck. Mayer makes the save, but palms it straight out in front of him, which is poor goalkeeping in the first place. But poor old Gomez, for it to hit him square in the face and then him be the one who's credited with the own goal, when really he couldn't have done anything about that. It came at him with such pace. But now we've just got something to build from. Friedel now on the left-hand side. Cross comes in, eludes everybody, but Chapman picks it up and it's back to Buckerite and into Chapman again, who's in a position to cross, but instead finds Rodriguez, who shoots from range, and it just whistles past the post. Please let me win this game, or else I'm going to have to re-record that whole intro, because people are going to destroy me if I do an intro like that and then we're rubbish. Oh, can you imagine? I won't be able to show my face on YouTube again. I won't be able to do another Non-League to Legend video for at least 2 days if that happens. I mean, we're still on the half... It's half term now. We're still on the reduced schedule. So your next Non-League to Legend video will be on Thursday anyway. But that's beside the point. By the way, on that note, I've noticed while we've been rotating the series back and forth each day, that Non-League to Legend is getting far more views than Home. If you want, those of you who only watch Non-League to Legend and don't watch Home, let me know down in the comments why you don't watch Home. Have you given it a try and you didn't like it? Or is it just a case of you can't keep up with 2 series? Which is, I think that's what I assume it is. But if you've tried Home, didn't like it, and decided to not watch it because of that, I'd be really interested in knowing why. And obviously, I can't ask that in a Home video, because a lot of you have stopped watching that or have never watched it at this point. If you've never watched it, goodness me, you should give it a try. I actually think it's the better of the 2 series. But who am I to judge that kind of thing? But let's... right, we need to be assertive, I think, because we have been poor. We need to show something different in the second half, and hopefully... not be so rubbish. They've got a wonder kid. That's got to be cheating. We're playing against a team who can bring a wonder kid off the bench. I'm starting to feel like Stuttgart away is one of those games where, as long as we put up a bit of a fight, it's probably one we're supposed to lose. We'll have a look after the game to see where Stuttgart finished last season, but the fact they've got wonder kids on their bench suggests they're probably in the upper echelon of this league, and it's not necessarily a big deal if we go there and lose 1-0 after putting up a decent fight. Rodriguez is having a really poor game. We're going to bring Mori on in midfield. We've been doing this quite a lot, actually. Although we never really tried him there last season, playing Mori as a central midfielder on defend, it suggests he shouldn't be able to do it, but he actually does quite a decent job there when he gets the opportunity. We're also going to take off Thorne and bring on Kapshak. I still don't know how to say his name. We're also going to take off... should I do a triple? I'm tempted to bring Cannoni on for Chaton as well. I'll give it 5 minutes, and then I'm going to bring Cannoni on and stick Kapshak out onto the wing and have Cannoni in the middle, because he's our natural pressing forward. So let's do that. Bring him on there, stick him out there, and we should probably do a shout. We haven't done a shout yet. Let's have some passion. I'm hoping that this isn't a game that we... I mean, as it stands, we're still 1 point off the top of the league. So I guess Dortmund have messed up as well. They've lost, or they're losing their game. If we can grab an equaliser here, we could be joint top of the league, which would be mad. Mori loses out in midfield, but then does win it back. So I'll let him off after singing his praises when we brought him off the bench. Gomez now plays it forward, looking for, what's his face? The Swiss guy whose name I can't remember because I've not played the game since Friday. Gomez now plays it all the way back to Mayer. We've still got a minute to make something from this and try and find an equaliser from somewhere, but the wrong team have the ball currently. I can't believe that it's a dodgy own goal that's cost us the game. If you look at the stats, we have actually been fairly decent. Cannoni now trying to chase down and put some pressure on their defence, but they're just enjoying the fact that they were gifted a goal and they've not really had to do any more on top of that. This looking at it performance-wise, has 0-0 written all over it. But alas, we have lost it, and I can already feel the comments section getting ready to bite back after my intro. Oh, what have I done? Right, let's assertively say, yeah, I am far from pleased. We should have drawn that game. I don't know that we necessarily should have won it. We will have a look to see where Stuttgart finished last season to get an idea of just how disappointed we should be there. So if we go to, what do we do? If we go there and then go back a year. So Stuttgart finished 6th last year. So yeah, they were in the breakaway group of 6. So they're the first one of the the big 6, I guess, that we've played. We've played them away from home, and they've only beat us via an own goal. So I think the intro still stands. But now we play Leipzig, who are another one of the breakaway group, but we are at home. I've picked 2 difficult games to show you here. What was I thinking? Well, after a 2-week break for international games, there's just the one change for the Leipzig game. Rocky is now fit enough to come back into the side at the expense of Chapman, who drops back down to the bench, although apparently he's only able to play 45 minutes. I don't remember seeing the email about that. I believe it probably happened. It's literally the last thing I looked at. Come on now, Kev. So he's going to play the first half, then we'll bring Chapman on at half-time. It'll be fine. Okafor also not fully fit because of pesky international football. Who, by the way, Okafor, I think it's a situation similar to, was it Di Maria that we had for, I want to say we had him at Spurs a couple of years ago, non-league to legend, where he kind of didn't exist until like 27, 28. I know Football Manager does this sometimes. Right, we do owe Leipzig, so let's give them a we owe them. Because Okafor had never played a game for anybody until we signed him. He's like 27, but we signed him from a Swiss team. I forget who it was. But he's now made his debut for Switzerland. He's scored on his debut. He looks like a Bundesliga quality player for us. So although theoretically he's got a career history that goes back 3 or 4 seasons, but no games, I think he's a new gen who appeared like in the last, when the last set of new gens appeared, and they just gave him a bit of a history to make it look like it wasn't weird at his age. That's my suspicion, because if he has been in game for all this time, that means the Swiss leagues are broken. I know I've not got Switzerland loaded, but they should still be simulating results and champions and stuff, surely, and games played. That's normally how these things happen. Butgerite, anyway, plays it to Rocky. Back out to Butgerite again, who in towards Vital, and Liam Thorne is there. And that's his 8th goal of the season. 6 minutes on the clock. It's Hamburg 1, Leipzig 0. Vital is going to feel a little bit hard done by that his header didn't go in, because it was a lovely header. Was it saved or did it come back off the frame of the goal? Let's have a look at it from the other side. But Liam Thorne first to react. So Vital, I think it's a little bit of both actually. And it was probably bouncing over the line anyway. But because Liam Thorne is a monster, he wants to be the top scorer in Germany this year. Liam Thorne, this has got to be the year. If he carries on in the form that he's in, he's got to be looking to break his way into the England squad, surely. With the form that he's been in. He showed it in the Premier League the first half of last season. Had a difficult start to life in the Bundesliga, which I blame on him not being able to speak the language. He can now speak German, and all of a sudden he's displaying the same kind of form this season that he was showing in the Premier League for Fulham last season before we signed him. A player who's scored goals in 2 of Europe's major top divisions, but never been called up into the England squad. That seems a little bit odd. I would be expecting him to be in the next England squad based on the form that he's in. I think that's what would happen in real life. And we've had a little bit of a let off there. Leipzig clattering the post a minute before half-time. Hopefully we can hold on, because as it stands at the moment, we're up to 2nd in the league, which is a delightful situation to be in. Let's assertively say, don't get complacent. That's always my go-to in this kind of situation. We are going to take off Rocky because we promised him that we would. Okafor probably could come off as well, but I'll save that. I'll give him maybe 15 more minutes, because he didn't have a fit. He's just tired. He's not coming back from injury, so he can force another 15 minutes of fitness into himself before we probably bring on Kasprzak, or maybe we'll bring Matthews on and put Vital out onto the left wing. I'll make the decision in a moment. I don't know. Have you seen Matthews yet? Matthews is a player. He's an attacking midfielder. He actually played fairly regularly in the Bundesliga last year, so it probably is fair that we give him some game time. And we've just gone We've just conceded a goal. It's 1-1. Again, let's keep the context rolling. Leipzig were one of that top 6 breakaway teams last year. If we're budgeting our results for a mid-table / top half finish, Leipzig at home, if we can find a way to draw this game, we've got to be happy with it. It would be nice to pick up a win, but it's not a game we would have been banking on winning at the start of the season to secure a mid-table finish. Let's take off Okafor. In fact, we're going to stick Vital out onto the left wing, and we are going to bring on Tashreeq Matthews because he was playing last season for Stuttgart. I mean, he wasn't playing constantly, but he's got a decent number of games for him. So I think we need to give him the opportunity to come in and force his way into the team. And Vital, we know from last year, although he's not done it at all this year, Vital can be very dangerous playing out on that left-hand side as an inside forward. So fingers crossed, he can continue to be dangerous today. Rodriguez isn't having the best of games. I think we're going to do our other fairly standard substitution of bringing Mori on for him because, although Janicic is tired, this international break has ruined us a little bit. We're on a very small squad, and with players going away to do international football, we're struggling a little bit to have a fit team out there. It shows that we've brought in some decent players. We've got a good first 11 now, but we don't have very much depth beyond that. But here is Matthews, who is probably some of that depth, and hopefully can show some awesomeness here and plays Chaton in. And Sven Chaton was not expecting that at all. But with 79 minutes on the clock, it's 2-1 to Hamburg, and Matthews massively involved. And Chaton does brilliantly. 2 of the substitutes combining. We've got Liam Thorne trying to goal hang in front of them, but Thorne's not needed. Chaton's done superbly. And now we've just got to hope we can hold on. A win against Leipzig would be a fantastic result if we can just hold on to it. We're up to 4th in the league again now, still 1 point off the top. And bearing in mind, top of the table is Freiburg, and I don't expect Freiburg to be a team challenging for the title at the end of the season, just like I don't expect us to be. But we've had a cracking start to this season. Goodness me, am I happy with how things are going? The tactical change and the new players all combined has made us look like a completely different team to that team that at times last season, I will happily admit, and admitted at the time, was just rubbish. We were rubbish at times last season, but we're finally starting to put together a team that is a lot better than I think anybody, probably me included, I don't think anybody expected us to be as good as we seem to be and to start the season as well as we have. But that is awesome. We'll have a look at the league table again. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful. Right, when are we going to be back for our next episode? We're going to play another bunch of games again. We'll probably be back. I guess it makes sense to do the last 2 games before the winter break. Get half a dozen games in there. We'll be back for Bayern Munich and Freiburg, which they could be 2 massive games again. Then we'll go on the winter break and see what the winter break brings us. Hopefully we can all be a bit more positive in the comments today. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.